Hit record now. So just really quickly, quick disclaimer for you guys. Any advice or information given in this room is educational in nature, general advice only, and does not take into account your personal financial circumstances. Um, Obviously, by viewing this material or any material by Bovarius Capital, you agree that it's general education material and you will not hold any person or entity responsible for any loss or damages resulting from the content or general advice provided here by Bovarius Capital Management, its employees, directors or fellow members. This first part. Spot currency trading have large potential rewards but also large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the spot forex markets. Don't trade money you can't afford to lose. This is neither a solicitation nor a offer to buy or sell spot FX or financial products. No representations being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in any of these sessions. Past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. This information is purely educational purposes only. Cool, now we've got that out of the way, let's proceed, shall we? Do you guys have anything that you specifically want to cover, by the way, at all? Anything you want me to go through? Obviously, just put it in there. Yeah. So feel free just to put in if there's something that you want to go through, something you want to cover and stuff like that. Then it'll this obviously it's always a good time in the live room to do that. No requests coming through. Okay, cool, no worries. All right, cool. Let's cover that. Anything else? Cool. All right, cool. So we'll look at that. Where's my platform? Here we go. Finally, found it. Yes. Yeah, that's right. It's not standalone. The MFI. Yeah. Um. This is pound yen. Let's see what the movement is on that. Look, pound yen. What I've done here is I've just taken this quick trade, and I didn't look at the calendar yet with you guys. But when you're talking about your entries and so forth, this is a 5 minute, so we typically like to enter in 15 minutes. Do you know why we like the 15-minute chart over the 5 minutes? Anybody? Answers on the postcard. Alright, so the reason why we like the 15 minutes over the 5 minutes is because if we take a price bar, or we measure the range, there's a huge range here. If we go to 5 minutes, it's far less. Yeah. So if we take it from, even take from here down to the bottom. But do you see how wide this has become? Listen, before I go into this, let me just quickly just look at what's on the horizon news-wise, yeah, with you guys, just so we don't get in bad habits of not checking the news, because that's the key thing, yeah. So let's get our calendar up. Can you guys hear that? Oh, good. Alright, so... Alright, cool. So, news. What is the latest? Alright. Today's what? Wednesday. So today, Wednesday, we have at 1:30 PPI for the US, and then at 3:30 crude oil inventories. Again, key important one. That's usually good to trade in terms of like dollar CAD, for example. It's good to trade at 3:30 with that particular announcement because it'll get you volatility. And then tonight at 10 p.m. Anybody looking to trade tonight at 10 p.m. or anybody that trades in the evening, you know. So you, Patrick, you're a bit of a night owl, aren't you? So you'll see there's news coming out, which means we should get some good volatility about that time. But at the same time, what is important to check as well, do you think? If I said to you like, let's go over there and get a bite to eat, what's the one thing that you want to know about that place other than the food is good? Price, right? So price. Price. No, it's price. Price was the correct answer. Key thing is price. So when we talk about price, we're talking about the price that you're paying. Because there's a spread, it means that you're paying something to get in. So you want to be checking the spread. Usually at 10 p.m. Yeah, at 10 p.m. Check what New Zealand yen and New Zealand dollars doing and see what that's giving you. Something like dollar Swiss typically is 5-6 pips at 10 p.m. Do you see what I mean? So it's good to know what they are, and how the way that you know is just from doing it. It's just that type of thing. Like anything in life, the more you do it, the better you become, isn't it? Like anything. So we've got some news coming out today. Today will be a good day for trading. Today's going to be a good day for trading. Because when we've got news, we've got volatility. Then why am I getting feedback on this? Is that no? It's cool now. It's gone. So when we've got volatility, of course we can trade comfortably, knowing the market's going to move. So that's good. Let's look at Thursday and then see what Friday's offering. So look, Thursday. Look at this news coming out for the pound. They call it Super Thursday, don't they? Yeah, so we want to see what the official bank rate votes are in line with what it was previously. So previously 7 against, 2 for, and then neutral. We'll see if that will change, because previously that's been 9 and 0. So that change in sentiment is a little bit bullish. I don't think they'll raise rates just yet, but we'll see. And then as we go on to Friday, we've got the unemployment rate for the CAD, and then we've got Draghi speaking at 2:15. Yes, Friday's going to be good. Draghi speaking. It's a bullish week. Draghi's going to move the markets, so that'll be a key thing. So we'll be looking to trade that as well when that happens. So that's the news that's coming out. You can always do this and just go to Bloomberg. Do you guys know what the topic conversation is today in terms of like politics and so forth? Anybody see what the latest with Trump? The Iran. Yeah. Yeah, the Iran nuclear deal, right? So everybody's saying it's a bad idea to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. Yeah, against all of that, one thing that Trump did is he pulled out anyway, and he's been saying it's a bad deal for a while. Now, it's quite interesting the fact that he's pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal, right? Because what does that mean? Think about it for a minute. What does that mean? Well, where are we heading to with this? With them pulling out? It's heading towards war. And what they're saying is they could potentially isolate the US as opposed to isolate Iran, because look what everybody else is saying. Everybody else, look at this. 9 minutes ago, Iran nuclear deal not dead despite Trump move, says France. By the way, the BBC is in my opinion one of the worst news stations out there. I don't know if you guys follow BBC News and stuff like that, but like these news stations, they're not independent. So I would urge you. I remember, was you guys who was here in the room last week when I was talking about fundamentals and just giving you my twist on it a little bit?
Yeah, I was watching that video last night.
Yeah, about the conspiracies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's a channel called RT, Russian television, I think it is, RT. It's quite interesting. You get people like George Galloway on there, and you get that woman, I can't remember what her name is now, Anesthesia or something, and she does like these reports and stuff like that. And with RT News, you'll get a different viewpoint. So I was watching something about Syria, and Russia, and where is it? I can't see it here, but so it wasn't something that's more mainstream, yeah. But if you look at it, it shows that the militia that was there have surrendered to Russia. The people are cheering the Russian military, and the Russian military's got hold of all their weapons, and their weapons are all coming from the US and US's allies. And now I know that that's not necessarily a secret thing, but it's like confirmation, but none of that news has been shown anywhere else, right? So it shows it's biased news, very biased. BBC was reporting that Labour and the Conservatives were neck and neck when clearly they weren't neck and neck, and so forth. So it's very biased when you get the information out of there. It's almost like that kind of thing. I saw somebody post something that said, it's 6 o'clock. It's a news presenter, yeah. So the image is like a news presenter, like this. It's a bit like, I can't remember the guys. It's like this one here. And it says, good evening. It's 6 o'clock. This is what we want you to think, kind of thing. And I thought, yeah, it's quite true because a lot of it's fed in that way. So you got to do a bit of your own research and see what it means, read between the lines and stuff like that. And there is a, I can't remember what his name is now, but a guy's come out and said that he was at, I think this is at the Pentagon or something, or at the White House, where they spoke about they plan to overthrow something like 5 or 6 Middle Eastern countries over the next 5 years. And that Iran was the last on its list. So following Syria, Iran's a target. Obviously, it's not quite as clear cut now with Russia being in there and actually stepping up for Syria. But the point is, there's a lot that we don't know, and simply look at the news isn't going to give you enough. You've got to kind of do a bit more searching than that to see what else is going on behind the scenes. Yeah. So it's like a whole big show, politics and so forth. It's a big show that's put on. It's a spectacle, really, isn't it? You know, and it gives us something to talk about and so forth. If you just wanted to do, for example, Forex news as well, and then just see what's out. FX Street is usually fairly good when it comes to that. Gives you up to the minute. But then also what you can do is if you go to the website, if you go to our website and you look at our news feed, it's up to the minute. So you have everything that's coming out as and when, so forth and stuff like that. So I'll show you that. 1 second. Let's close this down. This one. Latest news, yeah. Right, so you can see here, less than a minute ago, sterling outlook to hinge on Carney keeping 2018 rate hike alive. So that's an indication for tomorrow, Super Thursday. So it's saying that the sterling is looking for Carney to be hawkish in his statement, yeah, so it can rally up. So what do you think is going to happen if he's not? If he shows a little bit of dovishness, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to tumble, isn't it? Yeah. And then if you look just further down again, less than a minute ago in commodities, yesterday WTI's West Texas intermediary, and then you've got Brent crude oil, which is the UK. And it says here WTI oil prices boiled to $71 a barrel, the highest since December 2014. Brent oil has soared to $77. Brent is the UK. This was seen in November 2014 after the US President Donald Trump decided to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. But he also made his intention clear to impose additional, I don't know what it says, but I know that he was talking about sanctions, economic sanctions and stuff. And now Iran's retaliated, saying, remember, we only know from based upon the little bits that we're seeing. You need to kind of look dig a bit deeper. But Iran said, like, well, in that case, we're going to get our uranium to industrial levels and have even more of it and stuff like that, you know. So it's quite dangerous when you think about it in many ways, and it is. Now, I was listening to Kanye West did this little rant. Anyone see Kanye West's rant that he did on TMZ? Alright, so for those of you that saw it, it seems a bit crazy. I think Kanye West is a bit of a genius. I don't think he's crazy, but he's been on quite a bit of meds. But there was something I was going to bring up about that whole Kanye West thing as well that was relevant. Kanye West said, this is what Kanye West said, right? And they spoke about, so for those of you that don't know about this, and I know it's a bit kind of like social media news, but listen for a second. Kanye West was wearing the hat. They call it the MAGA hat. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I didn't mean to wear the MAGA hat and offend so many people. That's not what I was trying to do, and this, that, and the other. And that was the hat that Donald Trump wore for his campaign, "Make America Great Again." Yeah, and him wearing that hat. And so when they cornered him and stuff, because he said some things that did that did ruffle a few feathers. Like one of the things he said was like, look, 400 years of slavery, that sounds like a choice. And obviously people weren't happy with that. A lot of people weren't happy with that. Yeah. But Kanye West said about Donald Trump, he said, yeah, but let's look at it like this. Do you think that Kim Jong-un had any fear of Barack Obama starting anything with him? Right? No. But with Trump, he's got to be a bit more wary. So that's why they could come to the table and negotiate a bit more, because sometimes you need a crazy motherfucker like Trump to come and take out a crazy motherfucker like, or deal with a crazy motherfucker like Jim Young, wherever it is. And excuse the swearing and stuff like that, but we're all adults anyway. Shit. And when you guys are trading and making money, you're going to swear as well. So such is life. It's just language, right? But the point is, what he said actually holds relevance as well. So with this whole Trump thing, yeah, it is gearing towards war. And obviously nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants another war and stuff. And we certainly don't want to see nuclear wars and stuff like that. But like I say, look into some of these other, what you might call third party, non-mainstream media reporters, to see what they're reporting and stuff like that, yeah, to get a better viewpoint of what's going on. It's not quite as clear cut as it's all being made out to be, yeah. Alright, so look at that, up to the minute, bang, this has come out less than a minute ago, do with stocks, and it's posted in Indian Times, and bang, it comes out here. So it's worth having this news feed up, because it will keep you guys up to date with a lot of things. But this is more to do with not news that's out on the BBC and independent and stuff that's not really that independent and so forth. It's more to do with what's going on in the actual markets. And if you want to just filter it, you click here, where it says Forex. Oh, excuse me. It says Forex. What's this not clicking on?
Yeah, I tried doing that myself, I think never did.
There you go. Yeah, just click it. Just see it just below. When you go on it, it goes like that. But if you click it just below, so now that's just Forex news coming out. Yeah. So 3 minutes ago, and this is coming from Duke's Copy Bank. Yeah. So this is the actual bank itself. So you can see here euro yen likely to rally. The previously described scenario on Tuesday regarding the common European currency actually came to reality after the exchange rate reached the weekly support level 129.40. It made the corrective moves north. Sorry. So this can help you make decisions and so forth and stuff like that. Yeah. Now let's go look at the charts, and let's look at what we're looking at in terms of entries and all that with regards to Bollinger Bands. Yeah, one thing we was talking about Bollinger Bands. Yeah. So what's good about Bollinger Bands is Bollinger Bands is a good measure of volatility. Yeah, it's a good measure of volatility. Now we know that what happens is from 12:30 to like 1:30 the market slow down a little bit because people go to lunch. The US is getting ready to open, isn't quite open yet as well. We want the US to join the market, so that comes up as well, right? But what you can see when you look at the charts, so if we just start flicking through, actually see one that's got nothing on it, this one here, right? So this is I'm just going to load it. I'm just going to bring this down actually. So watch this. See here, right next to journal. If I just double click, I can see here my balance, my open P&L, equity, margin, and so forth. I can see all these things here at a glance. So I don't need to really have the charts up. It gives me more room, more space to flick through. Yeah. So if I start flicking through, yeah, what I'm looking at is what trading opportunities are. So do you see how the bands have widened? Yeah, so to see if I can show you an example where you might not want to trade it. This morning I didn't trade pound yen for a while because of how it looked. Yeah, so I was looking here, and it was closing. It was closing, and where it started closing, at that point there, I thought, you know what, this thing could just get very rangy all of a sudden, and a movement out the market. At the moment, it's gone a bit rangy up here, but that's fine. I'm not really that bothered or concerned about it. We'll just let that one play out. We'll see what else is going on. Now, Aussie yen, Aussie dollar. Now, Aussie dollar typically will move a lot like pound dollar and euro dollar. Typically not as volatile though. But again, some movements coming up. Then we can have a look. Like, look, you see here, you see dollar CAD. Do you see? Now, you see when it's come down to here, this would have been a good entry. Now, I could get in here. And normally, actually, I probably would get in here. But I don't want you guys to get in here. I want you guys to be strict. Wait for your entries to come down. Yeah, wait for it to come down, give you an entry. When it comes down to hit the Bollinger Band, what did it do? It rallied off 12 pips. Bang, you'd have got your 10 pips nice and easy, nice and quickly. Yeah. So you'd have got some nice moves, nice moves out of that one. And then euro pound. So euro pound, that's a nice range there, as you can see. And then dollars. Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know when you say it's got to come down to the pound,
Yeah.
it's got to be just a touch with the actual body or just a little bit.
Just a touch. That's all it needs.
That's all it is.
Just a touch, yeah. So here's your entry. Look at that. See that entry there? If I do this, just so it's not confusing or anything, I'm not going to turn around and say to you guys, look, there's an entry here. I know it's not there, it's there. No, it's not there, I'd have taken it here. Do you know, a lot of people say that kind of stuff, you know. Hindsight's 20/20, and that's the kind of thing that's a bit jarring. So what I want to do with you guys, me and Neil was talking about doing a live trading session. It just depends how many people we can get to the table at the same time to make it worth our while. But a live trading session, maybe in the morning, where we trade live in the morning, yeah. And then you guys can follow what we do, yeah. So it's something that we've actually spoke about more than once. So it all depends on the kind of turnout that we get to make it worth our while for you guys to do that and to worth your while as well. Obviously, it's no fun if only one or two people can turn up. Do you see what I mean? And we know people have jobs, but here, this is where I'd taken my entry here. Yeah, I would have taken it right here, and I would have sold it, and this thing would have gone against me quite quickly. And I would have hedged into that position, and this one's rallied like 17 pips. Yeah, so I would, but you guys wouldn't have done that. You guys wouldn't have got in there. Why is that?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at it from there. I'll be thinking, okay, it's gone too far the wrong way.
No, you're looking down here as well. You guys need confirmation, remember? Yeah, confirmation. So let me show you.
You said the bands are the major one, the major group, isn't it?
The bands are the most. Yeah. So the bands are most important. That's correct. Yeah, everybody gets that. Yeah, the bands are the most important. You don't need the MFI normally, but you guys at this stage here, I think it's going to do you more favours to have the MFI than not have it. Do you agree or not? Because now you wouldn't have entered till here. So now if you got your entry here, you know, this thing would have run against you like 4 pips and started pushing down. Do you see what I mean? You could have gone to break even by this point, whatever you want to do, take profit early, whatever you want to do, but you'd be safe in that. It's going to keep you just more safe. Do you understand me? Yeah. So, yeah, so that's why you guys do that. At least for the time being until you get a bit more favour and stuff like that. Do that because entry is the most important thing. I'm going to show you something, see if we can do it here. Let's just get something that's a bit more more expected. No, wrong. What am I looking at? Just typing something into the web page. Just want to see what the news was again. I know we just looked at it. I don't remember what it was. Here we go. Calendar coming up. And USD news, yeah? So euro dollar is good for USD. So I'm just going to take this trade on euro dollar. We don't want to be it for too long though. I want you guys to see it play out, but we'll just take this, yeah? Trade, and then what we'll do is we'll really want it to push up a little bit more than that. Let's see if one of them's already set up, and we can take it, yeah? If one's already set up, Oh, could have taken that one off the band to the upside. Alright, look, dollar CAD, look at that, it's pushing down dollar CAD, you see that? So let's take a buy on dollar CAD, yeah? I'm going to go in at point 1 so you guys can see this. Buy, yeah? Dollar CAD. Let me just do this. Yeah, just to make sure it puts in. Alright, so watch. Dollar CAD. So do you see now it's hedging by itself? Dollar CAD, do you see that? All I did was entered the trade. Yeah? So this is this it's not talking about you, Patrick, yesterday. Yeah? So I've entered the trade now. I don't need to do anything with that. I've entered my this is what Gennady when you was asking me before yesterday, Gennady. The auto stop and take profit. Yeah? Set at 10 and 20, yeah? So that there puts in the stop and take profit. Now my EA has put in the hedge at the exact same parameters, and if that thing goes down again, it will do the exact same thing. So we've got
Right, I see what you're doing now. I couldn't understand what you're doing before.
you see it there. That's what I'm doing. So this is dollar CAD, and then dollar CAD's here again. Yeah. So the hedge is in place. You can see from the comments that was my EA that did it. Yeah. So this is my EA X hedge Bovarius. So kind of watching just a little bit, and we do a live session of trading. Yeah. So we'll probably post something just seeing what you guys' availability is for everybody. What it will be, you'll be quite a bit of like we get in, there's a bit of waiting as well for the market to move. But we'll do it if we do it during like the open sessions, it's best. Especially London session, London Open, yeah. So we'll send out like a little survey or something. And you guys can reply and see what kind of response we get. Yeah,
So Paul,
yeah,
just clarify.
yeah.
So you put in call it a buy, is it a buy stop and then a sell stop?
No, all I did was bought. That's it. I hit buy. As soon as I hit buy on this chart here, you can see that I've got a stop loss and take profit auto. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what's happened is it's put in my on that buy, it's given me a profit target here and a stop loss here, yeah? See that? Now I've got
And then hedge.
my EA here will hedge, so that's hedged for me. And that will continue to hedge until the trade closes. And then when the trade closes, it will close as well.
Is this what you was talking about? Oh, I see what you mean now. Because yeah, we're gonna talk about that this morning. Is this what you was talking about yesterday when we were on the phone?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this makes life a lot easier. Um, yeah, because it's more now sort of hands off. So that means that you need to focus on what key thing do you need to focus on more than anything else.
Just margin, yeah.
Entry. Not management. Who said management? It's hey. No, wait,
Margin.
no, it's not margin or no because the margin requirements you work that out beforehand. Yeah. So when I've asked you to trade at that lower lot size, it's so you have margin, so it's not a concern. Yeah. Then, um, with regard yeah, then with regards to management, there's nothing to manage because like what am I going to do? This is hands free now. No matter the only thing I can do is close what I'm just gonna close this out early. That's what I'm gonna do. Do you understand me? And the reason why I'm not is yeah, go on. Sorry, yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, cool. So let me answer that. So what Jay said, yeah. So I just want to make sure that you guys are clear on this, yeah. What Jay said to me is like the management side of it comes from if this thing comes down and hits your hedge, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
then you have to put another hedge into the upside. Is that correct, Jay?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, so back to what I was saying beforehand. I actually don't have to manage it because what happens if it comes down and hits here? Well, my EA, you see it up here in the corner?
Mm.
Can you guys see what that says? Yeah.
No, I can't really
It says X hedge Bavarius. That there is going to, if this thing goes down, see that, Jay? This EA is going to open another trade here. Hands free, isn't it? Hands free, mate. So,
Look no hands.
uh, yeah, no hands. So there's nothing to manage, but your emotions, if anything. That's it. It's just your emotions. If you sit there and start getting nervous, then obviously it's your emotions to manage. But if you get nervous, it's only because you've gone in too big initially, right? Which is easy to do, and typically it happens a lot of times um, when you're trading. So what happens is, and so so the guys that do hedge, I've noticed a specific pattern that happens with them, and it goes from their initial trying to get it right to not giving a shit, basically. You know, it's that kind of thing. They do really get to that kind of whole, I don't give a shit. I'll just hedge out of it. Everybody does it. It's quite a normal thing to do, right? And the good thing about that attitude is that it takes away from the nervousness of actually when do I get in. So you start making clearer decisions. Why? Because now you don't have those thoughts triggering, releasing these different chemicals that are triggering these different emotions. Now, what you should have is more, but then you can still have the opposite emotions as well. So bear that in mind with your thoughts, because now if you start thinking like it can't go wrong, it's almost like, to give an example, it's almost like when you're driving. It's almost like driving and not giving a shit if you crash or not, because for some reason you think you're driving a tank or whatever it is, and you're always going to be fine. Watch this now. This is going to trigger here to the downside. Right? Bang. Do you see that? Do you see that? Yeah? Everybody see that, yeah? And did you guys notice that the previous trades that I had on, I didn't do anything with? Where are they? If I do time, pound yen. I had pound yen going up to 480, but it hit 240, so it cancelled the 480. It cancelled because it hit 240. So that was there waiting to open, but I didn't look at it to see what would happen. Why? Because I had my thing hedging. I just wanted to focus on the one that I was doing with you guys in the room, which is this one here. So now that's all we need to look at is this one here. So if this thing doesn't hit my take profit, it will go back up. Then you'll see it again enter another position and again hedge for me. I don't need to do it at all. So now that means I don't even need to look at it if I don't want to. Do you see what I mean? Why am I going to spend so much time looking at it? It's not a hot chick, is it? It's not a pretty woman. It's not a nice car, nice watch. But at the same time, it can be fascinating to look at charts as well. I do get that. But my point is, it's like I'm not looking at the intention of anything other than what would I be looking at? What would I be looking for more than anything else? It's just for it. Wait till it closes out so I can get another trade on, or I can take another trade now. It's like I don't have the margin to do it. So this is dollar CAD. We can see what else is triggering. Look at pound dollars in that, right? So pound dollar. So let's say I say right, okay, pound dollar. Sell. Watch. So it's put my things in. Now I don't need to do anything. As long as my pound dollar chart has my hedge EA. Now it doesn't, so now what I've got to do is make sure it does by changing that to that. Watch. Do you see that, yeah? Because now I've got that in place. Yeah, so as long as the EA is on the chart, it will hedge for me. There's another one there. I didn't put another order in, did I? So it just makes it nice and easy. Nice and easy, isn't it? So a bit of watching. Any questions while watching this? Anyone got any questions? No? Everybody's good? For some reason I knew the shift was out on this, which made the entry quite bad, but I'm not that bothered to any great degree. Why is that? Why am I not that bothered? What am I looking at other than the chart?
When to get out.
When to get out? No, I'm not. What I'm looking at is the time. Why is the time? Why is the time important? Oh, it's on a postcard.
News.
Well, yeah, news. Yeah, open New York news volatility. We've got news at 1:30. New York is opening. We've got volatility. Kennedy, I sent it to you already. Kennedy, I emailed you yesterday to trade a Kennedy. Did you not get it? No. Okay. So look, just so you guys know, the hedge EA, this hedge EA, yeah. So people are asking about different things. So the template itself, new template, doesn't come with the hedge EA. The hedge EA we have to buy. We have to buy the licenses. They're 50 quid each. Do you see what I mean? So the reason why we got them is so you guys could have it cheaper than if you had to pay for it. Because the other ones are all on a on a monthly basis. Yeah. So one of my guys, I mean, it's not that I wasn't. I had some other hedge EAs before, but they weren't that great, right? So one of my guys has got one, and he pays like 20 quid a month for it or something. Do you see what I mean? So this is the cheaper option, but we have to get. What it is like it's not the EA itself. The EA itself, I've got that. You guys can have that. It's nothing to send you that, but it doesn't work without this. Now you see that key there? That key will expire end of the week. You know, once we pay, yeah, once we pay the coder, he'll give us a key. So what it is like, but you guys can have it for the same price that we pay for it. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to pay 50 quid for each one, but you guys can have it at the same price. We're not making nothing on it. Yeah. The auto stop, that's we acquired that for free, so you can have that for free. That's not an issue at all. Yeah. So that's the way it works. But look at it like this, right? So for 50 quid, and it doesn't work for you, you're laughing, aren't you? You know, you more than make your money back in that anyway. So it's worth you guys having it. It's from the coder is someone that we know. It's one of our guys that codes for us when we need codes to be done and stuff like that. He codes for a few different people actually. He works at some kind of like where does Noah work, Neil? At the investment bank. Um, on their quant department or something. I don't remember. Like, you know, when you speak to people, sometimes you don't listen always. When you ask him a question, it's terrible. He's a programming nerd. Do you know he was actually a client of mine at one point from a different floor, ages ago, years ago. And the reason why me and him started speaking a bit more, because he actually wasn't necessarily my specific client, he was a client of my desk, but one of the other account managers was managing him, but it was his style of trading that I liked. So what happened was, when I saw his account, one of the account managers said, look at his account, and look what he's doing. And I was like, how is he getting his entries? You better check with him, just to make sure that he's not going too wide. And I was like, get him on the phone and have a quick chat to him. And so we got speaking and stuff. And I found out a bit about what he does and stuff like that, and what he was doing. So we've always kept in contact. The good thing about him is if there's any issues of anything or adjustments need doing and stuff like that, we can always get it sorted. Whereas if you went to MQ, do you guys know MQL5? You must have seen it, right? MQL5.
Yeah.
Let's just do this quickly. What's that news? Dollar CAD pivot point at 129.7 proved to have enough strength to drive dollar CAD through the exchange rate south. Let's look at pivots in a second. While waiting, what was the thing? MQL5. MQL5. Watch. If you come here, you can search yourself, yeah, and see what the prices are. You can do it yourself and see what the prices are. You can just come in here, search, type in what you want, and then you'll see, and they list them and stuff like that, and so forth. But see the guys that are on here, yeah, that do their EAs on here, I just don't know who these guys are. I don't know them personally, so I'm not so quick to do someone I don't really know personally. So do you understand me? I don't know them. I don't know because I don't I don't look for an EA that's already created and see what that's doing. I need it created based on my specific parameters. And you know what they say, it's like that whole thing, I'm not trying to give away my strategies and my techniques. I'm not giving away the recipe to Coca-Cola here. Do you see what I mean? You guys are our clients. What's going on? Have I dropped volume or something? No, it's cool. You guys are our clients, so it's different. Do you understand me? Um, what did we get in? Oh, dollar CAD as well, right? So dollar CAD's not doing much, as you can see. Look, I bet you the shift is out again. Damn the devil to hell. So it looks even better now, the entry, doesn't it? Nice. So there's movement there. So look, before we do that, let me just get like this here. Clean chart. Clean. Plain. Clean. Here we go. Plain, right? So anybody here use pivot points at all? Pivots? Anybody? No? Do you know what pivot points are?
Are there like averages in it? By low price or something? I'm not sure.
There is a specific formula to pivots, just so you know, right? So have I got pivots on here, which I should do, and I'll show you. Here you go, pivots daily, yeah. And the midpoints. Yeah, cool. These are pivots, yeah. If you guys have a look, these are pivots. So you see this one here. This is your pivot point. The way these are used is typically what people do is trade it in the morning, and they'll trade the pivots, and they'll trade a break of the pivot to R1. Yeah, R1's resistance 1, and then from there you've got resistance 2, and then resistance 3, R3. Yeah, a lot of them will show you R3. It will typically never get hit. Or that R3 will be the extreme. If it hits R3, you stop buying because typically it won't go past R3. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have seen that beforehand. And there's a specific formula that calculates the pivots. And I remember a time when I used to draw the pivots in myself and have an Excel spreadsheet to do it all and stuff like that. And so there's indicators that do all that kind of stuff for you now, so you don't need to worry about it. But you can certainly have a look at it and see how it pans out. So this took the break at what time? That was early hours of the morning. So those pivots weren't counted then. So this is dollar yen. Let's look at something that we trade now, and this time here. Look, euro dollar. So euro dollar now, for example, would be. So you get a break of the pivot where. Wait, if that's M2, just double check that. S1, that's the pivot there, yeah. So it's currently at the pivot. So what you would look to do, for example, you might look to trade a break of the pivot to the upside if you wanted, yeah. So when it breaks here, pushes up and keeps going. If it doesn't, it fails. As you see here, if it fails and comes down to the next pivot, you're going to get your money anyway if you decide to put hedge in place. Yeah. Remember, hedging's not for everybody as well. Yeah. So it's not something that some of you guys where you like to do a lot of coaching and stuff like that. The guys that get more coaching get a lot more in terms of like what it is that we're doing. The guys that do less, they kind of do their own things. We don't teach on the whim. So for those of you that like something and want to do it, obviously by all means, get your questions down. Give me a call, give Neil a call, get yourself a coaching session. It's not because we want to do more coaching sessions with you, but remember, our goal with you guys is to keep you guys in the market. That's what it's all about, is keeping you guys in the market. Keeping you in the game, right? That's all we're looking to do. So, we're just waiting a little bit. See what happens here. Look, pound dollar starting to push up. Kennedy, quick question. Kennedy, did you get that? Did you get the email that I sent you yesterday? I sent it after we spoke, so you would have received it at 5 to 4. I think I actually sent it when we were speaking. I can't remember exactly, but I definitely sent it to you. I sent the rules and stuff as well. I'm not sure if you can hear me, Kennedy. Let me WhatsApp you. Dollar CAD. It's all ticking around. See, it's hedging itself. Not doing nothing. Not doing anything. Doing it itself. When it goes bing, bing, it's when it's making that noise. Bing, it's letting you know that it's done something. Range are pretty wide on the New York Open. Let's have a look at it. New York, New York, New York. On pound, dollar. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That does look a bit wide, doesn't it? Yeah, that's too wide on pound, dollar, and you're saying pound, yen as well. Yeah, look a bit wide. If I do this, let me show you. If I go indicators list, yeah, no problem, Kennedy. Any questions? Give me a call. Yeah. Alright, so do this. Change this text color to, for example, yellow, so I can see it on the black background. Change show label to true from false. Click. Close. Great. Why does it look like that? So you can see here. See that R and in brackets 505. Do you guys see that? Yeah. That there's the range. So I can see the range at a glimpse if I want, and the high and the low, so I don't have to measure it. So we can see they're wide. 16 pips on euro dollars. Nice range. That's a nice range, that is. Pound dollar. It's not. Dollar yen. Look at that. What's that? 15 pips. 13 pips. Yeah. Pound yen. We know 50 pips. Aussie dollar. Is that 16 or 18? 18. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is 56. Euro pound. Euro pound just broke to the downside. Look at that, 17 pips. Nice break on euro pound to the downside. Dollar Swiss is ticking around 12 pips. Pound euro yen, yeah, euro JPY, and you got 20 pips. Nice range. That looks more like it's going to break to the upside more than to the downside, to be honest with you. So we'll see how that pans out. The only reason why I haven't taken any trades or placed any trades on those is not to confuse what's going on down here. I just want you guys to see. Watch this in action, see how it performs, yeah? Do you guys do things, yeah? Like drink plenty of water? Drink water when you're trading and stuff? Do you do that? Anyone? Some of you? None of you? So look, things like drinking water is important. Especially now when it's really hot. So, because that's what your brain needs, isn't it? Yeah, so it needs water. And you know, 80% of what we're made up of is water, and some people argue the point at 70, and some say it's 90. But if you do the research on it, you'll see that your blood is like 90% water or something. Your bones is like 80% water and stuff like that. So we carry so much water. So what you need, it's a bit like if you was in a physical sport, you want to look after your physical body, yeah. And you're in a mental and your mental as well. But this is a mental sport, if you like. More so, yeah. So you want to look after your mental. At the same time, look after your physical as well, because it's going to affect your mental. So they go together, right? Yeah. So if you're trading and stuff and you're sitting there, make sure you're keeping hydrated as well. This is good. So I'm sitting here, I'm drinking some water. I put bits of lime and ginger in my water. Don't know if you guys like lime and ginger, but ginger's a bit strong. So when the ginger comes out and I'm chewing it, so it's quite strong on your tongue, it's more of an acquired taste. Maybe if you like ginger beer, you might like it, but lime is love lime. So I like to cut slices of lime and just eat those with the skin on and stuff like that. Do you know that? Do you know? Lemon you should avoid, lime you should have. Lemon is a hybrid of lime. Don't know if you guys know this. You guys look into this kind of stuff or not? Okay, so what's going on here? Is this starting to move one way or another? News is at 1:30, right? So remember what the news was that was coming out? You guys remember there's news coming out, yeah? PPI? You guys know what PPI is, yes? I take it, yes? You guys know what PPI is? If you don't, say so. Speak now or forever hold your. What is it? Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Was it speak now or forever hold your tongue or something? Peace, or forever hold your peace. It's just that vision when the priest says it. Speak now, forever hold your peace. It's like you either speak or you grab your peace. It's like, what's your peace? I know what that means. But this was Gennady. I was speaking to you about this yesterday. And I think I spoke to you, Patrick, as well about this, right? Peace. This is another one, right? While we're waiting for some movement, let's get a bit of learning in. All right. So, forever hold your peace, right? Forever hold your peace. It says forever hold your peace. That does say peace. Forever hold your peace. So it just triggered another one, yeah? 1.2, put the other hedge in place as well. You guys saw that, yeah? Did it all automatically. Dollar CAD, yeah? So forever hold your peace. Yeah, spell it here so you can see it clearly. Or forever hold your peace, yeah? Nobody writes in cursive anymore, do they? I wonder why it's called cursive. So forever hold your peace, and it's different connotations. But it's that thing. Why is it these cause the exact same sound vibrations? Yeah. What did you miss, Patrick? It's a good question, mate. I can't remember now. What did you miss? I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'll send you the video link and you'll be able to watch it again. We're just talking just about making sure you stay hydrated and stuff like that, so forth. While you're trading, it's good for you in general anyway. So we're talking about language. So while we're waiting a little bit, let's talk about language a little bit. So it's the same exact sound vibrations, right? So typically most of us are born into a specific religion. If you grew up in the UK or Europe, chances are you're going to be a Catholic, yeah. In the Middle East, you're going to be a Muslim and so forth, isn't it? Yeah. And it's not because you necessarily have this undying belief for it, but as you're a child, you're told these stories and stuff like that. I mean, you've got to think about the stories you're told as kids. It's like to believe the stories that you're told. I mean, it's that whole thing. I saw something the other day, or someone posted something on social media saying, Jesus is coming back, like if you believe. And I replied to the comment on it saying something like, yeah, he's a bit late though, isn't he? He's like 18 years too late. Something like that, what's going on. And yeah, it wasn't taken that well, I don't think. But who cares? But the point is, it's like you're told these stories and you buy into them and stuff like that. But why is it that we believe that story, but the other ones we're able to decipher, like Santa Claus? Every year someone's going to bring you gifts if you've been good, which tells you that poor kids can't be good in that case. Only rich kids can be good, right? You lose a tooth and a fairy's going to give you some money, and a big bunny's going to come around at Easter time and give you something. There's ludicrous stories, but because you hear them when you're young enough, you can soak them up and take them in, right? Now, if you look into Hinduism, right? Hinduism, I think, is the closest religion to the Greeks and the Romans and the Egyptians and so forth, right? In that way, yeah, where they had the many gods, yeah, not just the one. And you look at Hinduism, and they meditate. They speak a lot about meditation, yeah, and yoga, yeah. So yoga isn't the kind of stuff we see today, where people do these little exercise classes and or they're all like namaste, and we put on some music and stuff like that, and all traditional and stuff like that, and so forth. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't quite work like that. Yoga isn't what people claim or make it out to be. There you go. So this is hedged again for me. Yeah, so I don't need to worry about it. It's doing its thing for me. Another one as well. It's come in. Bang. It's done it all for me. So I don't need to worry. I don't need to watch it. I can just leave it doing what it's doing. So we need to wait for it to do something. We need some more movement in that. So what happened with the news? Shall we check? News. News came out. So it came out a bit worse than expected, but it doesn't seem there's been a whole lot of movement off the back of that. I'll look at 1 minute just to see what's going on here. Yeah, not a great deal. Still a bit rangy, so I'll have to see how I play out with that one. But again, I'm not doing anything, it's doing it for me, so I just leave it. Yeah, and just leave it. This means that I can then come back, do this, and talk about, like, so when these guys are doing their things, let's get more of a clean screen to do this on. Yeah, still keeping this open so I can keep an eye on it if I need to. Right, so I remember this from an actual lyric. Color is vibration. Yeah. Okay, so you guys have heard of the law of attraction and stuff like that and so forth, and scientists are now proving it. And Hermeticism tells you about nothing stays still because there's a constant vibration of movement and stuff like that, yeah? So everything's on a constant vibration, right? Let me know if this makes sense to you or not, right? So we're going to some esoteric and occult stuff a little bit here. But if you got any interest in knowing a bit more than just what you see, then this is good for you. So colour's vibration. Right, vibration, so color equals vibration. Vibration is sound. Right, so you've seen for example, when they, what's that word they use? It's isn't it? You guys have heard that, yeah? When you meditate and stuff like that. There's quite a few others as well, and they're based off sounds. Right, because it sounds, universal sounds and stuff like that. And if you guys want any evidence of this where it translates into any other things, if you look at, for example, Catholicism, Christianity and stuff and all that, when they talk about how God created the world in 7 days, it says, actually, let me find where it says it, so I'm not, so I know the exact thing, right? So the Word was with God, and God was the Word. That's what it said in scriptures. I got another alert, so it must have triggered something for me. I think it's triggered my sell trade to the downside, entered my new trade up here. Bang. Right, so the first verse, the opening chapter of the Gospel of John in Douay-Rheims, King James, New International, and other versions of the Bible. The verse reads, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Do you guys see that clearly, right? Okay, so clearly see that, yeah? I know we've gone a bit over. I was just hoping that some would have closed out. But really quickly, when I'm on this here, yeah? Here, do some of your own research then, right? So you know what it says there. Look at the word. Look at the anagrams as well. Words is an anagram. You've got sword. The saying, the sword is mightier than the pen. It could be just coincidence, but do a bit more research and maybe it's not. Look at the word logo. Every company has a logo. Look at the word logos. Look at the etymology of the word. Look at its origin going back, yeah? It's a Greek word. Look at what it means. Look at what it means also in theological terms as well, where it speaks and says that logos is the word of God. The mind, the universal language of the mind, there's a story called the Tower of Babel, right? Tower of Babel, whatever. That story, Babel or Babel, yeah. You guys might not know it. If you don't know it, just look it up. There you go. Alright, so the Tower of Babel, and this was one in Genesis. It's look. What's my alert said? I got an alert that comes in here. Come on, where's my MT4? There we go. Cool. So it's triggered this one here and put the 2.4 in, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll leave that, let that play out. It's all good. Alright, so back to here, right? Tower of Babel. I'll show you this really quickly. This is really interesting. Alright, so Tower of Babel. So look, here you go. Look. Is an origin myth meant to explain why the world's peoples speak different languages. That's what it's about, yeah? So according to the story, united humanity in the generations following the Great Flood speaking a single language and migrating eastward, comes to the land of the Shinar, and then it goes on. Basically, what it is I'll without going into it, I'll tell you. It basically talks about how the God. It doesn't say God as well at any point. It always says gods. It says so. The gods said, "Listen, let us disrupt their language so they can't communicate with each other and split them up." Yeah. Also, the other thing as well, when it says in the Bible, it says, "And God said, let us make man in our image." Right? No single entity would use the word "our." Do you mean? I wouldn't say, this is my strategy, trade our strategy. This is my strategy, say trade my strategy. This is my strategy, not this is our. If I said this is our, you would then turn around and say he must be talking about him and Neil, because now our is more than one. Hours. And then hour is in time as well. There's a reason why things sound the same. You got to look a bit into that. Do a bit of research yourself. I don't want to sound like the guys coming along telling you about all these conspiracies where things aren't right and shit in the world. It's not quite the case, but it's just that look into things so you can find out a bit more for yourself. Yeah. Don't just take everything at face value. Yeah. Because what's the lost language? What's the one language that everybody understands? Is symbolism. For starters, symbolism. If I did this and I went like, for example, I don't know, no U-turn. If I did that. No U-turn. That you don't need to speak my language to know that means no U-turn, right? So you can know that from seeing the image. Yeah, symbolism. A logo is a symbol. The mind understands symbols, whether backwards, back to front, whatever. The subconscious mind does that. Yeah, so it's important to understand that as well. So, anyway, we can go into this in a huge topic. Some of you I've spoken to you a bit more in depth as well about this, and you've seen that actually. What we've done is we've gone a bit more in depth into it, yeah. So anyway, look, this thing's still playing out. I'm hoping this comes up to hit target. If this is moving, then we should see also dollar CAD moving as well with it. Dollar CAD's been a bit stagnant, so we just need to see some movement with dollar CAD. Dollar CAD's moving a bit slowish. Stuck in that range, that 8 pip range for the time being, but that's alright. It's no thing. This is going to close out as well in a minute, so. Alright, so obviously, unfortunately, we can't just keep the live room open until it does close out, because otherwise the recording will be too long for us to upload for YouTube and stuff like that. So, any questions at the moment? If I don't hear nothing, I'll take that as a no. But if you look, right, so, I mean, you guys have seen what it's about, yeah? If this thing takes another half an hour to play out, it doesn't really matter. But there's no point us just watching from out our screens unnecessarily for no reason, yeah? So, if you guys have got any questions after this, by all means, give me a shout and stuff like that. What we'll do, we'll wrap up here, because there's no point carrying on. You can see that it's doing all of it itself. I don't need to watch it. I don't care about it. There's plenty of free margin in this 10k account anyway for it to go in and out a few times. So I'm not that bothered. With the breakouts, you will start to get some breaks. Euro yen. Remember I spoke about buying euro yen? Looks good for a buy. Now pushing up. 11 pips. But we didn't want to take it. Why? So, does anything else really quickly? I think that's going to pop to the upside. Looks like that will do the same thing. That means dollar yen should pop down, actually. So, pound move together. Aussie will move with euro and pound typically as well. Dollar CAD. Let's see how that performs. That range is horrible, isn't it? So, we need to see that move one way or another. Now, dollar CAD would move with dollar yen typically, so I'm expecting to see that pop to the downside anyway, pretty shortly. Euro pound. Look, push down, pop back up, right? So if it broke to the downside, pop back up, you'd still be in the trade anyway now if you took it. And dollar Swiss, and that again should pop to the downside. So that's what we're expecting to see. Probably will follow that as well. We'll see anyway. But look, thanks for being here. If you guys want to ask me anything after this, without putting in the room, then by all means do that also. You guys seen how it works and how it plays out, yeah. And that's about it. So look, we'll wrap up here, and then I'll speak to some of you guys during the day. If I don't speak to you during the day, have a great day of trading. If I don't hear from you guys from a little while, I will be in contact, which means that should be a precursor to show you that actually you should be in contact as well. So, you know, it's that kind of thing. Don't just call me if you have, if so. Sometimes it's good just to call, just to say like, look, this is what's happened today and so forth, or have a look at my results. Patrick does it as well, which is good. So I get to, by that way I can look at your results and see what you're doing, and iron out anything that you're doing as well, and so forth. But look, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for being here, guys. You guys have been awesome as always. I'll post that out about doing a live trading session just for our clients. Probably a different link on live room as well. We'll probably create a different room for it as well, so we're not mixing up things, yeah. And then those of you that don't speak to today, I'll speak to you guys tomorrow, yeah. All right, happy trading, guys. Make money, turn volume, and rebate and kick ass and chew gum. All right, cool. Speak to you later. Bye now. Bye.